This October, the Blue Action Fund closes a call for proposals offering grants of up to €4 million to protect mangrove ecosystems across Asia. Local coalitions are prepared to do the work. The climate benefits of blue carbon are documented, and the capital is ready for deployment. However, the project behind a single hectare of mangrove must satisfy dozens of different global authorities before that first grant arrives. This is the reconciliation burden. The international community wrote several sets of rules to save nature, none designed to compose with the next, and left the task of reconciling them to the people planting the trees. As projects navigate this uncoordinated traffic jam, the movement of capital stops at the boundaries between these different families of rules. Consider the specific, dense regulatory layers that a local project applicant in Indonesia must successfully navigate to secure this funding. First is the conservation layer. The project must establish a protected area meeting criteria set by the IUCN and the Convention on Biological Diversity. Next is the carbon layer. The project needs a pathway to high-integrity carbon credits under a standard aligned with the core carbon principles. Above that is the financial layer. The corporate entities buying those credits are subject to separate disclosure regimes, such as the Task Force on Nature-Related Financial Disclosures. Finally, the sovereign layer. If those credits count toward another country's climate pledge, the host government must authorize the transfer under Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. These requirements were authored by different institutions on different timelines, with no built-in interoperability. Because these regimes stack multiplicatively in risk, they form a chain where any stalled link halts everything downstream. Direct expenditures like verification fees and legal studies are visible on the project ledger. The heavier burden is denominated in time and dependency. Most of these layers end at a checkpoint held by a sovereign institution, a registry that must register, or a ministry that must authorize. In Madagascar, a wildlife conservation society project exceeded its community engagement targets by 400%. Yet the same project recorded no progress on its conservation targets because a required government decree was stalled for years by election cycles and leadership changes. National rules can shift overnight. Zimbabwe revised its carbon market framework 3 times in 3 years, with each set of rules binding the developer while it was current. Funding secures feasibility work and expert consortiums, but it cannot open a checkpoint that a host government holds shut. Because public rulemakers have not built bridges between their own frameworks, the system remains fragmented. Private entities are attempting to patch the gaps. The Blue Action Fund's current call is a private bridge, a custom set of rules forcing disconnected global targets to compose with one another for a single project. In practice, these private bridges offload the immense, crushing task of reconciling complex global treaties onto the local applicants. Local organizations are expert at engaging communities and planting trees. They are rarely equipped to navigate international bureaucratic warfare. Some jurisdictions are acting on this overlap, such as the European Union's recent efforts to simplify sustainability reporting. But these revisions stop at the family boundary and do not connect carbon rules to conservation targets. Until standard setters like the ISSB or the Global Biodiversity Framework absorb these different logics into a single obligation, nature finance will remain stalled. Deploying the billions of dollars waiting to save the world's mangroves requires more than capital. It requires reconciling the rules.